welcome back. We're here at the end of January, beginning of February, 2022, and I don't know about you guys, but it has been, a lot of winter weather, a lot of keeping, in the South when the weather rolls in, we kind of hunker down in our houses, and things kind of come to a screeching halt. And past few weeks, it's been a lot of winter weather in our area.
Yeah, we lost January completely, and when you're working on a 12-month year and you lose your first year, or you lose your first month, then you've only got 11 more to go. So if you're not hunkered down in your business, you better do it now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today I want to kind of just dive into a couple of things, really singularly. One thing I want to dive into, and that's focus. But focus kind of touches on a lot of different aspects of our world, our lives, real estate business, real estate sales business, things of that nature. And the reason I want to kind of delve into that is because the typical real estate agent is a type A personality, a high D person, who can get distracted and see squirrels everywhere they go. And in our business, those distractions, those squirrels, while shiny and fantastic and really sexy looking squirrels, really distract us from our core focus, which can really affect our success for the next year.
Yeah, I think one thing that people really lose the ability to see about focus is, really, the key to focus is the ability to get from point A to point B in the most efficient manner. We tend to want to get from point A to point B, but we veer off one way or the other, or something distracts us, or things like that, and then all of a sudden, it's taken a little bit longer to get to our goal we've wanted to establish.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that. We had a conversation with our coach who was on the previous episode, Wayne Frederick, and we run a real estate brokerage and mortgage brokerage and a couple other companies. And he said, Mark, the only reason a real estate agent is going to affiliate with you or anybody else, or a mortgage broker is going to affiliate with you or anybody else, is your ability to shorten the time to get them successful from where they are today to where they want to be. And if you cannot provide the ability to shorten that time frame of success, then you're not bringing enough value to the table. And so that's why it is super important for us to maintain focus and helping agents maintain their focus, because at the end of the day, anything that gets in your way of your end goal is nothing but a distraction and gonna take you away from getting there. I believe, and we were talking about just a minute ago, what are podcasts? Podcasts is about our opinions and what we think and what we feel. And I truly believe, and this might be a concept that is foreign to a lot of real estate agents in our marketplace and in and around the country. There are 1.5 million, almost 1.6 million of them. And I truly believe that real estate agents who sell the most houses make the most money.
Yep.
Is that a foreign concept?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing.
Really? Real estate agents are supposed to sell houses? Well, I say that in jest because there's a lot of distractions out there. There are a lot of design distractions out there trying to get real estate agents whose sole purpose to sell houses to do other things. And they're enticed with a lot of different potential windfalls and potential additional income from various different areas. But I truly believe those that focus on selling real estate will make more money, period. Long run, short term, everything. I mean, they're going to make more money.
Agreed.
So what do we do? How do we get focused? Well, first thing, in my idea of getting focused is really nailing down those goals. What do we want to do? And when you're looking at what we want to get accomplished and what our goals are, You start from that big, hairy, audacious goal, that big number, and then you work yourself backwards into those daily tasks, right?
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head. The way to stay focused is to make the action steps as small as possible.
Yeah, no question. So when we figure out where we want to go and how we're going to get there, we set those daily action steps. And if what we're doing today between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. or 9 a.m. and 2 or whatever the time that you're building into your business, if it is not a contributory factor of helping you get to your goal, probably need to look at eliminating it or delegating it to someone else, right?
I agree.
So, Brian, walk us through some of the things that you do to help bring, you're maybe not the typical real estate agent, a little bit more analytical, a little bit more thoughtful and planning. I am, and you're going to see me bounce around from place to place because I am your typical. So bring me back into the focus of what, as an agent, what I should be doing to gain a little bit of focus.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. The key is you got to have the smaller the action steps that lead to the big wins is the key. And you always have to keep it in front of you. You always have to be able to see it. What happened? I mean, it's human nature to be distracted. It doesn't matter who you are. It's human nature to be distracted. So if I didn't have my to-dos in my notes, I keep them on my phone, and I look at those every morning or every day, midday. Hey, where am I at with all this? I'd be distracted. I'd be doing something else. My gosh, how many times do we get sucked into email, social media? How many times have you heard an agent talk about, well, the majority of my marketing's on social media, which is great and that's fine. But then what happens is I get on there to do my business and then I fall into the trap of scrolling and reading through everything. That's the stuff that sucks your time because you're not focused and driven in the areas and doing the action steps you need to do to be able to get to your goal.
And let's just take that step back. You just mentioned something, that is very poignant. We've had a lot of conversations with folks that when you ask, it's the first question we ask when we're first meeting with folks, where does your business come from? Mm-hmm. How many times have agents said, my business comes from social media?
Most everybody to start with.
Absolutely. And I think that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think that is, why does my business come from? Well, because that's where you spend all your time. Mm-hmm. You're on your phone, you're on Facebook, you're talking back and forth with your friends. You get sucked into the social media world. Well, if that's where you're spending your time, then yeah, of course, that's where your business is going to come from. That doesn't mean it's the most effective way to garner new business. That doesn't mean it's not the most effective way. It absolutely could be, depending on how intentional you are with your time, utilizing social media. But it's about where you're spending your time. So as we pull back and we nail down pull back the onion, peel it back, and look and see, am I doing something right now that is pro building my business? Pro building my real estate portfolio, whatever it may be. If the answer is, maybe not, well, let's talk about it and let's see, how do we limit those distractions?
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, it comes with control too. So really, when you focus on things, you have the control. Versus, I hate to, I'm not trying to be totally anti-social media today or anti-doing business on social media, but, you're at the mercy of the platform. You're at the mercy of the other people there, and you're really not in control. But, and a lot of that, again, there are people, don't get me wrong, there are people that do a very, very good amount of business on there because they're focused on it. Mm-hmm. They're not getting caught up in the trap. They're doing exactly the action steps they're supposed to be doing when they get on there. It's just a huge distraction to most people. But I had this quote pulled up. I wanted to talk about it. Your life is controlled by what you focus on. Now think about that for a second. Your life is controlled by what you focus on. So those are the things that, when you're trying to control your life, you need to focus on those things that you want to have control of and to control you from that standpoint.
Absolutely. When you say that, I get back to the, I can see it right now. It's a video of a teacher, a professor talking about, has a jar, and in that jar, he puts big rocks initially into the jar, and he asks his students, is this jar full? And everybody says yes. And then he drops a bunch of marbles that are a little bit smaller. And then he asks, is this jar full? They said yes. And then he drops sand, sand into the jar and fills it back up. And he says, is this jar full? They said yes. And then he pours water into the jar. And finally, when he pours water in the jar and he says it's full, yes. All on the way, you think your jar is full. And if you fill your jar with water to start with, or sand to start with, it's going to be hard to put those bigger things into the jar at the very beginning. So to me, the focus, the thing is the big rocks, making sure that I'm focused on the big things that are going to help, whatever it is, whether I'm growing a real estate portfolio and I'm going down, I want to make sure I'm putting those big rocks in first.
Yeah, I always use that analogy when doing time management kind of conversations with agents and people that I'm coaching, because that's the key. It's like if you don't put the big rocks in first, then if you start filling up your bucket or your jar with the sand or the water first, AKA doing emails, surfing on social media, surfing on the internet, whatever, then what happens is that time's gone. That time is gone, and then you've lost the ability to handle your big action steps, and which are your rocks, your big rocks.
Absolutely. And focus is not always on business, right? While this is a podcast about real estate brokerage sales, real estate investing, things of that nature. Focus is not always about business building. I know that one of the things that we coach our agents and our brokers on at the beginning of the year, which we're kind of at the beginning of the year, is taking your calendar and scheduling out your vacations, your family time, putting it into your calendar. These are non-negotiables. I'm already going to have it earmarked out. Maybe you haven't bought the tickets, but you've earmarked days in your calendar that are going to be for you and your family, because that, focusing on that is important, because that leads to stress relief, it leads to balance, and it leads to, helping you, when you're in your business, to be able to focus.
It gives you that reason why you have to push through and persevere when things get tough.
Absolutely. So first, I like to, Brian and I are two completely different people. He's kind of all up in, big picture, and I want to nail down some specifics. So specific number one, focus on your family and focus on yourself to start with. Put in your calendar the vacations that you're going to take in 2022. I challenge you guys to do that. Put it in there, put it down, and it's non-negotiable. Okay. Step two, when you are looking at your business and you're determining where your business come from, you need to ask yourself, in the last year, where did it come from? Are you buying leads? Are you working a sphere of influence? What are you doing? And when you ask yourself, where does most of my business come from? When you get your answer, that's where you need to put most of your focus. So traditionally, most people's business comes from their sphere of influence, people that they know, like, and trust, or people that know and like and trust them, people they've done business with in the past. Yet, majority of their time is not spent cultivating that big source of business. So encourage you to put together a system, ask yourself what you're doing to help your sphere of influence, to stay in contact with them, providing them value, not selling to them, providing them value, and at the end of the day, asking for referral business and getting really good at the ask. But there's various different ways and places that we need to focus. I know that you have a real estate portfolio. You own investment properties. That focus can drift, and it needs to, you need to have focus in there. So talk to us, Brian, a little bit about maintaining focus within your investments and in your real estate portfolio.
Well, I'll give you a simple story that gives an example of that. So, we started my wife and I started our portfolio about 10, 11, 12 years ago. And we have a goal of which we want to have, which is basically a cash flow goal that'll allow us to live our life, to make the choice whether we want to work or not. It's not we're not planning on retiring, at the end of it, but it gives us the choice. Well, about 2-3 years ago, we really started developing the businesses, that we've been working on. And my thought pattern waned. It got away from what I was doing, trying to build within the portfolio. And you've got to stay really focused on that as well if you're going to do it, to where I realized I was getting 1, 2, 3 years behind on where I wanted to be. So this year, I've had to adjust that. I've had to adjust that focus. But at the same time, we've made some fairly big purchases this year from that standpoint. So we're really excited about that. So we've kind of gotten back on track from that standpoint. But you're always, if you don't have those, again, the small action steps that you can do in the short amounts of time, the dailies, the weeklies, the monthlies, then the 20-year goals, you're not even gonna know if you've made it, and you probably aren't gonna make it until you reach year 19 and you go, oh, wait a second, I wanted to have X, but I don't have but Z, and it's not even close.
Right.
So you've got to be focused from that standpoint.
So with your portfolio, your focus right now is to purchase and add to your portfolio in order to get those assets paid off and cash flowing is in a maximum. And you have to keep buying to be able to get to that point of what you were talking about, correct?
I am, yes, that's correct.
So focus. That's your individual stuff. So talk to me a little bit about we coach folks that are investing in real estate, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, you can wholesale properties, which is finding deals and turning them over to people like you that are looking to buy and hold or flip. You can flip real estate. You can be a buy and hold, which is owning rental properties and long-term investments and keep adding to those. There's a lot of different ways to run your real estate business. I know that I've had conversations with folks that they're trying to do all three at the same time. And it's very difficult to do when you're looking at a real estate investing business or your investment portfolio. It's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do one thing well, much less 3 or 4 things well.
Right.
And so talk to us about maintaining the focus of and setting that goal of how you get there. Yours has been in the buy and hold. You can make really good money in the flipping business, or you can make really good money in the wholesaling business. You just have to know where to go.
Yeah, and it's all about what you're comfortable with, but I agree. I mean, you definitely don't need to be doing all three at once. Like for me, we've done the buy and hold, again, like I said, for 12 years, going on 12 years now, and I've got a great management company that manages everything. So I'm really hands off, except for finding the deals and purchasing the property.
Acquisitions.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So therefore, we've added in recently the rehab or the flipping aspect of the business to try to pick up some kind of big hits to help pay down the debt. So I would never be able to do both of them when I was first getting started. I literally had to build the buy and hold aspect of the business, and then I had to turn that over to a reputable management company that's going to take care, and that I know is going to take care of the property and make sure that that financial cash flow is maintained as well as the status of the properties. And then now I can focus on the other side.
Awesome. As a real estate agent, a new agent coming into the business, it's important that we're looking at our business in multiple facets. Obviously, focusing on the real estate sales side of stuff, but then how does a, and I don't want to wane away from focus here because here goes Mark seeing a squirrel, but as a real estate broker that is entered into the business in the last couple of years, what is your what's your thought process on adding an investment component to their time that they're working in the business?
To me, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, here's the thing. You hear it all the time, and let me take a step back for a second. How ironic is it that we hear so much now in the real estate business? I'm focused on my future. I'm focused on my retirement. We've been in the real estate business for a while now, and it was the exact opposite before.
No question.
And now it's kind of like, hey, I'm focused on my future. I'm focused on my retirement. Well, so let's get back to this. I mean, so let's think about the retirement. What's the number one thing a real estate agent knows? What's the number one vehicle a real estate agent knows from an investment standpoint?
Well, you would think it would be real estate.
Correct. Well, that's what Warren Buffett will tell you. Warren Buffett, I mean, he is into real estate, but he's mostly a financial genius, right? And an investing genius. So that's what he'll tell you. You focus, you invest on what you know the most of, what you know the best. That's where you put your focus when it comes to investing for the future. And that's really what real estate agents should be doing.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, the ebbs and flows of the market, you've seen a lot of volatility in investment. And I kind of look at Wall Street, looking at cryptocurrencies, looking at whatever. And I don't know how many people that I speak to, that are, have investments or have owned cryptocurrencies, and it's a fad thing. It was going way up, and then it crashes way down, and it goes way back up. And having all of your or having a big chunk of your investments in something that you don't really understand, much less, I'm not sure anybody really understands cryptocurrencies. If you do, great, come talk to me because I ain't got a clue. I know what it is all about, but why it goes up and down is very difficult to rationalize. But if you had a vehicle and if you had an expertise in something that traditionally is going to not only go up in value but provide you cash flow along the way, that's what investment is all about. And so you utilizing and that focus and staying focused in your area of expertise is going to provide you that long-term wealth that most people are looking to achieve.
Yeah, I think and here we go. You're talking about the cryptos and so many things out there that people are like, they think they're going to get rich quick. The cardinal number one rule in investing is knowing you're not going to get rich quick, because if you think you are, you're going to lose big.
Absolutely. And it's I have seen it all too often with folks that are going so hard, so fast, taking so many risks because they want to get rich quick, and you know that it's made of a house of cards, and as soon as the wind blows in the other direction, it comes crumbling down. Mm-hmm. So back to our core piece of this is remaining focused, and remaining focused is keeping your eye on the ball, knowing what you're good at, knowing what your area of expertise is, and going all in with it. Whether it be on the real estate or whether it be on the investing side, whether it be in your job, your job of being a real estate agent, again, maintaining that focus is where you win. When everybody else is diving and going in another direction, and everybody else is heading off to do these get involved in these sexy opportunities, keeping your head down, remaining focused, and doing your job really, really well is how you get ahead, is how you become the expert and the professional, and the rewards will follow. As we are entering into 2022, my challenge, my hope for you, those that are listening, is that you'll ask yourself introspectively, what is it that I'm good at? What is it that I like to do? And go all in with that. Because if you go all in with what you like to do, and I would argue that most people that got into real estate sales, they got into it because they liked people. It's a people person business. They like to problem solve, and they like to achieve success. That is done by helping as many people buy and sell homes, commercial real estate, whatever it is. But the transactional side of it, of helping people achieve their dreams, is where the money is.
And doing a good job at it.
Absolutely. So the more you stay focused, the better you're going to become at your craft. And trust me, people know if you're good at what you do. People also know if you're not good at what you do. So if you stay focused, you're going to get better. You're going to get a reputation of being a professional and expert in your business, and that is going to beget results and more success down the road.
Bingo.
Awesome. Guys, short, quick topic today of focus. Encourage you guys to really look inside yourself, see where your time, energy is best spent, and really double down on that. That's what we're doing. We're doubling down on our business, doubling down on helping real estate agents achieve their success. That's what makes our business grow. But 2022 is going to be a hell of a year. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great year, and look forward to talking with you guys next time.
Yeah, look forward to talking to you guys as well, and leave us, leave us some information. Like, let us know how you're focusing within your business. We'd love to hear this.
Absolutely. Take care.